David and Tamar Scheinberg got engaged last year Hanukkah, and they were scheduled to get married right before Pesach on Hey Nisan. They had invited extended family and friends, and they were super excited to celebrate their upcoming wedding. But then everything changed. The world was hit with coronavirus.
2 weeks before Purim, the government started to talk about a lockdown in Israel because of COVID. Me and my wife and the whole family decided instead of doing the Chas and Hey Nisan, we will do it earlier, Kav Vav Adar.
They rented a smaller venue and they invited only immediate family members, parents, grandparents, and siblings. They followed all the guidelines and they were determined to do whatever they can to make it work under the current circumstances.
הכל התחיל נהדר, היה חופה מאוד מאוד יפה ומרגשת, כמו באמת שחלמנו. התחילה הסעודה ופתאום גיסי נכנס והוא אומר שיש משטרה בחוץ.
Me and my wife walked down the stairs. Like my wife was the white gown, me was the suit, tie. Now I thought that when I'll come to the cops, they will like treat me as a chassan and kal, like, oh, here are you okay? So let's talk. Let's see if everything is okay, and they'll let me go. But they didn't. A lot of cops came. Soldiers surround us, like big guns.
The cops forced them to stand outside by the building over there as they start threatening everybody. Get out. Go home, otherwise we'll slap you with a 5,000 shekel fine. Everybody immediately dispersed.
We stand like an hour and a half.
היה לי קר, וגיסתי רצה לבית להביא לי סוודר או משהו. המשטרה לא הסכימה שהתקרבו אלינו. הרגשתי כאילו אני פושעת, לא יודעת מה, רצחתי, כאילו מה עשיתי משהו רע.
By the time the cops left, the wedding was ruined. There was nobody there for Sheva Brachas. David was forced to stand on the street asking passerby if they can come in so he can have a minyan for Sheva Brachas at his own wedding. To make matters worse, the cops gave each of them a 5,000 shekel fine, so now they were in debt on their very first day of their lives together.
It's really, really hard to like stay happy. I didn't stop, keep telling myself and my wife, listen, it's our happiest day in my life. I'm not going to be sad. I'll dance, I'll smile even if it's hard.
יכלנו באותו רגע להתחיל לבכות ולהגיד מה הולך פה ולמה, אבל לקחנו את זה, ואני זוכרת שישבנו, היה קר, ועמדנו שם שנינו ופשוט שרנו שהכל לטובה.
As much as they knew that it was for the best, they were deeply disappointed and upset about what happened.
בכל 6 חודשים האלה, מאחרי החתונה, יצא לי לראות כמה חתונות של חברות שהתנהלו כרגיל ובלי הפרעות. וזה כאב לי כל פעם לראות למה שלי היה צריך להיעצר, ולמרות שלא הזמנתי חברות, ועשיתי הכל לפי הכללים. יותר מזה, כשקיבלנו את התמונות מהצלם, אני לא הייתי מסוגלת להסתכל על זה. כל פעם שפתחתי את התמונות, זה באמת עשה לי לבכות.
Fast forward 7 months. Yom Kippur this year was Sunday night. It was Friday afternoon. David gets a call.
אני לא יודעת על מה הנושא, אבל נורא שבא לי מאוד לא רגוע.
David hangs up the phone and Tamar asked him, what happened? I can see in your face. You turned serious during the conversation. Is everything okay? David said, it was my father on the phone. And he just told me that a Bochur from a certain yeshiva had called him. And the Bochur told him that he was the guy who ruined our wedding. He was the guy who called the cops on us. The Bochur had said he had good intentions. He really meant well. He was scared, nervous about the coronavirus. When he heard music coming out of the hall, he thought people were violating the guidelines and he didn't want anyone to contract the virus. So he decided to call the cops to save people.
My father asked him, so why are you calling now? Like, what made you decide to call half a year later? So he told my father that I'm 24 years old. I'm in Shidduchim for a long time. I'm in a good yeshiva. And since that the day that I called the police and the chasana, I didn't get ready, no shidduch.
And he knows the reason is because he hurt us. And he wants to ask us for forgiveness.
My heart started beeping. Everything came back. It was really hard to me to like understand that.
ביקשנו לקחת את הזמן, אני זוכרת את הרגעים האלה, זה פשוט כאילו הכל חזר, הכל צף, אנחנו חזרנו לאותו רגע.
And they just couldn't get themselves to say the words and really mean it. We forgive you.
That Erev Shabbos I went to Daven and I said that words, Yedid Nefesh, Tov Rachamon, I just thought to myself, like, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so big, He's only one for our good. Everything is to our good, everything because He loves us. And if it's happened, I'm sure that it's only for my best.
By the time the end of Shabbos rolled around, as hard as it was, they were ready. David called his father and told his father to give this Bochur their number. And within a few minutes, the phone rang. David put it on speaker, and the Bochur broke into tears. He broke down crying, and he said, I am so sorry for what I did. I know I was wrong, and I had good intentions, I meant well, but please forgive me.
אני אגיד את האמת, אני ממש רעדתי, כאילו, זה לא קל למחול, זה לא קל, חד משמעית. אבל החלטנו שאנחנו עושים את זה בלב שלם, ובאמת עשינו את זה, אז הוא סיפר את הצד שלו, ושהוא מתנצל, ופשוט מחלנו לו.
I told him, listen, it's very hard for me, but I will forgive you, me and my wife. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu should help you, should find the shidduch.
The next night was Kol Nidre, Yom Kippur night, and David and Tamar felt so good, so lighthearted, so clean, knowing that they're about to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do for them what they had done for someone else. Grant them forgiveness. The next day, Tuesday, Tamar drove to work, and she usually comes somewhere at 5 p.m.
I was in the middle of building the sukkah outside, in the backyard. In the middle of building the sukkah, so her sister came out screaming, Tamar was in a car accident. Tamar was in a car accident. 3 cars went crash into her.
David rushes down to the hospital. He comes into the room and he sees his wife is okay, Baruch Hashem. The doctor comes into the room and tells the couple, he says, you guys must be having angels guarding over you because the way the car was hit, the airbag should have come popping out. And Tamar, who was 6 months pregnant, would have lost the child.
זאת אומרת שבעצם מה שקרה לנו, שכנראה אנחנו לא יודעים מה באמת יכל לקרות שם, איזה מידת דין עמדה עליי, וקדוש ברוך הוא הביא לידינו את המצב הזה של באמת נסלח לאותו בחור, כל המצב של החתונה והמחילה, כדי באמת שזה עמוד לזכותנו.
The fact that baby and mom are okay is nothing short of a miracle.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, if you meichel my sons, I'll meichel you.
אם אתה מחזיק משהו על הלב שלך כל כך הרבה, זה רק לא עושה טוב לנו, וזה רק כבד לנו, וזה רק קשה לנו. אז פשוט לדעת למחול ולסלוח ולשחרר את זה ממך, וזה רק יעשה טוב לך ולשמחת חיים שלך. ופשוט תהיה בן אדם יותר טוב.